Great morning. Great morning. Great morning, you guys. Come on in. Come on in. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I messed up. Mm-mm. Goodness. Hold on, you guys. Let me try to get this Instagram going. Great morning, you guys. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, shoot. Super excited for today's word. Hey, Jackie. Now, give me just a second. I clicked something wrong. Great day, gorgeous. Thank you so much for your support last night. All right. Y'all, please be sure to share. Share, share, share. All right. Hey, y'all. Y'all just popped in on me. Great morning. Great morning. Great morning. Great morning. Let me try this like this. Well, I'm trying to. I don't know why it's not letting me go live. I know, girl. I know. Y'all know y'all be showing up for that man right there, honey. I love it. I love it. And he be showing up for y'all too. That's one thing about my daddy. My daddy. I don't know why Instagram is not cooperating with me. Okay. Y'all give me just a second. Let me refresh. Okay. Great morning, April. Hey, Summerlin. Yes, you are up early. Oh, my goodness. Hey, gorgeous. Y'all go ahead and share. Let me see if I can refresh this and if this will do it. It didn't. Okay. Okay. I can't worry about it right now. I can't worry about it right now because listen, what? We got some stuff to talk about. Um, I'm excited this morning. Now, I'm going to deal with some tough stuff today. So I just need you to know that ahead of time. It may be triggering, you know. So Just know that it may be triggering. Have you some tissue, some Kleenex near you. And if you don't feel like you can handle it, then, I would suggest that this be one that you don't watch. But if you feel like you're ready to move beyond the past and break free from the past, stay with me. I'm going to take you on a journey, but I'm not going to leave you hanging. Okay. So y'all know how we do. Listen, Linda, listen, baby. It's time to come alive. Time to come alive. Time to get alive. Alive has amazing, incredible benefits. 7 benefits in one amazing liquid proprietary blend, right? This juice is loose. Okay. So what does it do? Well, it may help with metabolism booster, supports blood sugar, enhances balances hormones, increases energy, decrease appetite, enhance mood and libido. But baby, you gonna feel good and you gonna feel good. It also promotes weight management along with supporting your blood pressure. Y'all listen, it is amazing for helping with neurotransmitters. If your neurotransmitters are not necessarily firing the way that they should, it helps support that process. So hold on, you guys. Let me do this real quick. So I'm excited. I'm excited about what the products do and how they're helping people improve the quality of their health. Okay. So hold on. I'm gonna have to delete the Instagram part because it's not streaming. Okay, hold on. All right. So, okay. Yes, thank you, Summerlin. Y'all know what we do before we get started. We got to sing a song. It'll make you dance. Yeah. So listen, here we go, y'all. Shot, 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 shot. Everybody shake, shake, shake. Shake the devil off. Hey. Shake, shake, shake. Shake the devil off. A, B, C. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm telling you, do, re, mi, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. Alive. It's you and me. Honey, listen, whether you get regular alive or you get alive ABC, you get that same powerful and impactful experience. So we ABC in it. I ABC in the morning, and I do regular alive for my second shot during the day. All right, so let's go. Ooh. Ooh. Just the thought of it makes me happy. All right. Here's to breaking free from the past. No longer in bondage. My God, today, baby. Yesterday was a long day. All right, I'm ready. Pour my husband up. I'm not even gonna drink none of his. All right, y'all. So let's talk about it. Yesterday was my daddy's birthday. Happy birthday, Daddy! We celebrating all month long. All month long. Yeah. And I'm going to tell y'all how y'all can support him and give him a birthday present that will help close out this year very strongly for him. We're going to be releasing the ebook, and what we need you to do is purchase copies of the ebook, multiple copies, preferably. You can give them as gifts, but when we release it, our goal is within 24-hour span. And so that's, we're working to coordinate it within a 24-hour span. We want to sell 3,200 copies at least of his ebook. So we need your help and your support in doing that. Okay. That's one of the best presents that you could give him. I'll be reaching out to you guys. My team will be reaching out to you to show you how and tell you how you can support Daddy in this endeavor. I want to give him this gift. I want to give him the gift of being on the Amazon bestseller list. That's the gift that I want to give him. For his birthday, for Christmas. Listen, I want him to have that. Yes, Summerlin, absolutely. Amen to no longer being in bondage. So let me talk to you guys, okay? Let me talk to you guys. Something happened last night. You know, my daddy is an absolutely amazing and incredible man. And he has a story that is like, it's awe-inspiring, right? But he has had to take a journey. Great morning. He's had to take a journey. And that journey meant that he didn't always make the best decisions. He didn't always do what was right. It affected the women in his life, angel number 111. It affected his children. It affected his family. So listen, let's not be deceived. All of us have somehow impacted the lives of other people, and it wasn't necessarily positively. Okay. So the man that we see, the man that we get to experience, while he's been that person, he hasn't always been able to fully be that person. I think that one of the examples that I can use is my daddy who raised me. My daddy who raised me was an amazing man. He was a great man. But he had challenges with showing affection. He had challenges with showing love. He had challenges with that. Some of that was the war. Some of that was how he was raised. But all of that affected me. He didn't plan to affect me like that or in a negative way. That was never his intention, but it did. Okay. So we're talking about Daddy's book last night, celebrating his birthday, but talking about the book. And I read a couple of chapters of the book. And my siblings were on there. And I'm so grateful for my siblings. My siblings are absolutely amazing. They are the bomb, okay? And all of them have gone through stuff with Daddy. All of them have gone through stuff with Daddy. There's not one of my siblings that's not been impacted by Daddy's choices or decisions. And so when you go through stuff with a parent, it makes it challenging for you to sometimes see them the way that other people see them. Well, I got the benefit of coming into Daddy's life post a lot of the stuff that he went through. So the daddy that I got, the daddy that you all got, is not the daddy that they got. I understand that, and I understood it. So it means that, I approach things a little differently, but I don't have the baggage that they had. I didn't go through the stuff that they went through. I didn't, y'all, and we can say what we want to, but the things that we go through in our childhood impacts us. It impacts us. It can create roots in us that sometimes we don't even realize they're there or why they're there. Great morning, Charla. Hey, Christina. Hey, Jason. Thank you for sharing. Great morning. It was the daddy is the best. He absolutely is. So, I read some of the book last night. Matter of fact, angel number 111, I think I'm going to read some of it to you. Right? I want you to kind of hear what they heard. Angel number 122. And then I want to talk about breaking free from the past, because we have to, right? But we can't if we don't have open, honest dialogue and conversation. And it means that things that your parents did not tell you when you were younger, because, like, you can't tell your kids everything that's going on because you don't want to traumatize them. You don't want to negatively affect their relationships with either parent or the family. And so that too creates a challenge. Okay. So I'm going to read some of the book. Last night I read the intro and chapter 1, and I'm going to read those today. Okay. I just want y'all to get a taste of my daddy's life. Okay. Introduction. Over the years, I've gathered my thoughts and tried to put them on paper. My greatest challenge has been that my thoughts often ran in loops and repeated themselves over and over again. It seemed as though I would never get them to come together to tell the story the way I wanted to tell it. Well, now you are reading the culmination of those thoughts with an added level of clarity. This book would have been very difficult 2 years ago. I would have not been able to give it the conclusion that it has now. I wouldn't have been able to take responsibility for me, my choices, and my actions the way I can today. Growth not only changes you, but it also changes how you see the world and those around you, as well as your past, your present, and your future. So let me make it perfectly clear to you now that I am assuming full responsibility for me. I release every person in this story from blame, guilt, and weight. It is not my desire nor my intention to make anyone look or feel away, although that is inevitable. Instead, it is my desire to share my story from my perspective with the added benefit of time, growth, and revelation. As you are taking this journey with me, I need you to know that it will be a journey. On this journey, you will laugh and you will cry. You will be happy and you will be sad. You will probably experience a wide range of emotions during this journey, but stay with it because I promise you that it will be well worth the journey. You will learn about my childhood and my complicated relationship with my parents. We will go into my youth and my decision to enter the military. You will journey with me through the Vietnam War, which changed my life, but also so many other people's lives. We will come back from the war and address the challenges faced as we return to a country that didn't love or respect us, even though we put our lives on the line for it. We will examine my relationships in my family life, including my relationships with my children and their mothers. We will tackle mental health issues as we deal with my own mental health issues and PTSD and depression, as well as its impact on those who I love and loved. And just when you may have given up on me, we will discuss how God saved me from myself and my own mind. You see, this story is a story of salvation and redemption. So we will not stop with the problems, challenges, and issues. We will see the hand of God on my life and my journey. We will seek God's providence and his restoration. We will see God's providence and his restoration. We will see his glory in a messed up situation in life, because that's who gets the glory for how this story unfolded. Please don't stop before you get to the end, because you will miss some valuable lessons and insight. Please don't write off anyone in this story, because God didn't write me off. Please stay with me and see if any of what I share can help you or those you love with navigating your own story, because we all have one. Thank you for taking this journey with me. I pray that as you read each chapter, that there would be something that blesses you and you can use in your personal life. It's time. So let's take this journey. Chapter 1, Mama left, but I've got it. We stood on the side of the road with a quarter in each of our hands, watching as Mama rode off to a new life. The 8-year-old me was already trying to figure out how this whole situation was going to work. I knew that Daddy would be furious and there would be fireworks, but I also knew that Mama had to leave. I wasn't clueless to the pain that she experienced regularly. I often heard and saw Daddy beat her. I remember thinking, why would Daddy hit her? She's so beautiful. And there was the answer inside of the question. Her beauty was so great that Daddy was afraid that someone else was looking at her. He was afraid that someone would do to Mama what he was doing to other people's wives and girlfriends. You see, my daddy was a ladies' man. He always dressed to the nines and looked like $1 million. People knew my daddy. He was the man that every man wanted to be and every woman wanted to be with. He had a good job at the bank and he had property. He knew the value of $1 and wasn't afraid to work for one. He was a rare breed and he knew it. My daddy knew that the women were looking at him and wanted him, so he took full advantage of that. But he also knew that he had a beautiful woman for a wife. My mama had beautiful, flawless skin. Her skin was so smooth and soft that you just wanted to touch it. To this day, I remember the feel of her skin under the touch of my fingers. Not only was she beautiful with flawless skin, but my mama had a bad shape. She looked like those women in the movies. And just like people saw my daddy and looked at him, they looked at mama. She just had a way about her that was magnetic and drew people into her world. As a grown man, I now realize the problem with all of that during a time when women had little to no rights. I now realize the problem with all of that during a time when women had little to no rights. My daddy had the money and the name, but he couldn't stop mama's beauty from shining through. She was my sweetie, and I loved her with everything in me. Daddy couldn't stop the world from seeing her, so he tried to stop her from seeing the world. Sometimes it would be so bad that my older brother Terry and I would cry for her. I can remember going to her as she was crying, trying to comfort her. So you see, I knew that pain that she was experiencing, even as a child. I understood enough to know that her leaving was necessary for her life, even though it hurt, and I didn't want her to go. Or I wanted her to take us with her, but she didn't. The funny thing is that I didn't blame her. I blamed daddy. It was his fault. And in that moment on the side of the road, I knew that I had to step up and protect my siblings. I was now responsible for them. I would make sure that they saw mama. I would make sure that they were good. I would make sure that their needs were met. And I was serious about that role. I used to take them to see mama by crawling under houses so we didn't get caught by daddy. Mama couldn't come to see us because daddy had a restraining order against her. But we made our way to see her. I made sure of it. The twins, Paul and Pauline, were babies then, so they couldn't go. Plus, daddy had gave them to his aunt to take care of and made sure that he gave her money regularly to meet their needs. Not surprisingly, daddy's aunt blamed mama for them being with her, but that was not the case. What I know is that as a big brother, I took my role seriously. I worked from a young age and would buy my siblings things and give them money to go to the movies. I wanted them to be good, so I told mama not to give to me, just to take care of them. I told her that I was good. I've got it. The problem with all of that is that I really needed my mama, not for things, but for love. I know she loved me, but me being me and trying to make things right for everyone else did not allow me to admit that I needed and desired to be taken care of too. In fact, it created a cycle in my life where I was always trying to take care of others, even to my own downfall. I think I did it to get love and acceptance. The problem with that logic is that when the money and things are gone, so are the people. All of these dynamics are clearer to me now. But then I just knew that I wanted love, and I felt like the way to get it was to look and dress a certain way and to buy people things. What I learned is that money can't buy you love, but it can buy you some time with people. I didn't realize until recently how deep that void was from my mama's leaving. Now that I do, I also realized that it affected every relationship I had with a woman. There was always the thought that they would leave, so I had to have options. I'm grateful that today my love doesn't require me to have options on the side. If I've learned anything, I've learned that I really do have it, not because of me, but because of God. Now I know that I'm never alone, even if I am alone. But I am grateful that God gave me a wife who has been there for me through the thick and the thin. I'm not saying that our relationship is perfect. It's not. But it is worth fighting for, which means that I have to face me and all of the things that I didn't face in the past. My daughter V asked me a question one day. She asked me if I could say anything to my mama, sweetie, what would I say? Well, I would say, I needed you more than I realized. But I'm so grateful that I had you for the time that I did and the way I did. So, sweetie, mama, thank you for loving me no matter what I went through. I know you had to leave both times, but this time I've got it for real. That's the introduction in chapter 1 of my daddy's book, The Silent Cry, an Oscar-worthy performance in my own personal nightmare. This took a lot. Angel number 122. This took a lot for my daddy to write, for me to help him put it together. And it's going to take a lot for my siblings, my nieces and nephews, the women that were in his life, his family, for everybody to process through what he went through and what was going on with him that they may have known part of, but not all of. Great morning, niece. Hey, Benita, how are you? April said, beautiful. Can't wait to read all of it. Yes. So, what does this have to do with it being time to break free from the past? Someone said, I'm going to purchase this book to understand the mental complexity of what the military did to get some clarity of my ex-husband's many mental traumas. Dr. V, thanks for reading some of his excerpts. You're welcome. And you're right. I think that sometimes we don't understand the level of trauma that people have experienced in the military and the level of trauma people have experienced in their lives, period, because it's not talked about. There's so many things that are secret, so many things that are hidden, so many things that people don't feel like they can let anyone know because they don't want to allow themselves to be made vulnerable. I was this morning having a conversation with two of my kids. Their great grandmother died, and they went home. You know, they're there in Georgia for the funeral and everything, and we were talking, and I had a conversation with them that was sparked from this, from what happened last night when I read this with my siblings on the line, and their responses to what they were hearing. You see, so often we think people are just making excuses for the way they are without understanding the totality of why they are the way they are or why they were the way they were, right? Jackie said, I'm so absolutely proud of him for being able to open up the doors of his life. Yes, Jackie, it's hard and it takes courage, right? It takes courage. So in the conversation I was having with my kids, I was talking about, Adam wasn't even born yet, but I was talking about some things that happened in the past, and why I was the way I was, and some things that happened to give them some understanding. So maybe they could understand not only me a little better, but their daddy, right? So I was sharing with them, a time that I tried to commit suicide, and I've talked about it. I talked about taking the 2 bottles of pills after shampooing my hair and styling it and putting my makeup on because I didn't like the funeral home makeup or the way they did hair, right? Which is so totally illogical. But that lets you know when people are at the point where they're ready to kill themselves, they are not logical. I'm telling you, by the time you get to that point, your logic is so skewed that it makes no sense. Who in their right state of mind is going to shampoo and style their hair and put their makeup on and then kill themselves and die and think that they're going to be in the casket looking just like that? It doesn't work like that. Like, it doesn't work like that. But literally, in my mind, I just wanted to die because I couldn't control what was going on around me. And so I gave them some backstory to it, right? I'd never given them the backstory to it. Hold on, y'all. Let me put it on Do Not Disturb. I gave them some backstory to it. This was Christmas. It was Christmas when this happened. It was Christmas. Matter of fact, it was Christmas Day when this happened. Looking back, that would have been so traumatic for them, and it would have really impacted their ability to celebrate Christmas and enjoy it. But I wasn't thinking about that. I only had Micah at the time, from my ex-husband. And I had my 2 older boys, Travellis and Daquan. So they had gone. My mom was in town with her significant other at the time, which was my ex-husband's uncle. And they had gone to see his grandmother, the one that just passed. But the day before, we'd had a little party at the house, and there had been drinking, a lot of drinking. My ex was really drunk, and his uncle was really drunk, and my ex was leaving, and it was Christmas Eve, and I was, telling him, why are you leaving? Like, we still got to grab presents, like, don't go. And so he was like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going. So he had worked so meticulously on this model car kit to put it together and paint it and all of that good stuff. I took that thing and threw it on the floor and stepped on it. I stomped it and smashed it and I broke it because I wanted him to feel some pain, right? I wanted him to feel some pain. I wanted him to not leave because we had stuff to do. Like, he was messing with my whole plan for Christmas. And I knew that there was a chance that he would not make it home for Christmas. I knew there was a chance. I knew there was a chance, and I didn't want to take it. So I broke it, and we argued and fought, and he left. The next morning is Christmas morning. I had my two boys, Micah, who was a baby. It was her first Christmas, and his daughter, Nene. I stayed up that night wrapping presents so that the kids could have a great Christmas. I'd gone and bought all the presents. I bought the presents. I'd wrapped the presents, put the presents under the tree. I had some stuff I had to put together. And I remember sitting there feeling like a single parent, but I was married. The next morning, I tried to call him and I couldn't get him. And I didn't know where he was. And the kids had gotten up and they wanted to open their presents. And I didn't want him to miss Micah's first Christmas. Even though she was a baby and she wasn't going to know, I'd wanted him to be there. So I had the kids go ahead, open up their presents, took some pictures, let them enjoy themselves. And finally thought, let me call his mama. And I did. And she said, oh, well, they're over here asleep. I couldn't believe that he had missed these kids' Christmas. I couldn't fathom it. And I was extremely overwhelmed. Well, we had already been going through some stuff. And I didn't know what else to do. Like, I was at that point where I was like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I have no idea what else to do. Like, nothing that I'm doing is working. Like, there's no change that's happening. And at this point, I'm just done. I'm just done. So when he came home, he spent some time with the kids, and I said, we need to talk. And so we went for a ride, and I was driving. And I decided, I was telling him how I felt and, what was going on. And, he really didn't have too much to say, it was like, oh, well. I said, you know what? Okay. All right. I said, look, you ain't got nothing to say. You don't see nothing wrong with this. You know what? Okay. And I began to press down on the gas. And I began to go faster and faster and faster and faster. And I decided, oh, we both gonna die today. Oh, we gonna die today. Because what I will not do is make these kids go through this for the rest of their life. Listen, somebody will take care of them. And I was determined that I was going to kill us both. And the kids would be better off. And I remember him sitting over there saying, slow down, slow down. You crazy, you crazy. Oh yeah, I'm finna show you how crazy I am. Determined to drive into a tree. He's right, I was crazy. I lost it. I was in a situation where I knew there had to be change, but I couldn't change it. I couldn't change it. I couldn't change it. No matter what I did, I couldn't change it. I couldn't maneuver, manipulate, move him to the point where he wanted to change. I couldn't change it. So I came to my senses because I thought that would hurt. I said, listen, okay, all right, let me get myself back together. Let me get myself back together. Let me get myself back together. Let me try to get myself back together, right? So we went back to the house and they were going to go down to his grandmother's house. And I let him and the kids all go. I didn't go. I said, I'm not going. I'm going to stay here. Y'all go ahead. So I made up in my mind, if I wasn't going to kill both of us, I was going to just kill me. I was going to take me out of the equation. I don't know what made me think that was going to be good and a good idea, but you know, that was my solution because I didn't have another solution. And I took 2 bottles of pills. I took a bottle of Prozac and a bottle of Effexor because at this point I'm on antidepressants. You know, I was having horrible mood swings, and my PMS was crazy. Well, later I found out that it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that. It was that I really suffered from chronic depression. I'd been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and chronic depression is a part of that. My body wasn't producing some things the way it needed to. So there was some biological basis to it. It was genetic. It ran in my family. I'm thinking it's just on my mama's side. Later, after meeting my daddy and hearing his story, I realized that it really was on both sides of my family. My sister has been diagnosed. My sister by my dad has been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So this stuff is really genetic stuff, right? That I don't know. I don't know anything about. And I decided I was just going to die. Like, yo, listen, I seriously shampooed my hair, styled it, did my makeup, and I laid down to die. Crossed my arms and everything. I've told the story before. Laid in the bed, crossed my arms, angel number 133, preparing to die. Like I just wanted to die. I just wanted to go to sleep and not wake up, right? When I woke up, I was mad because I couldn't even die right. Well, my kids had heard part of the story, but they didn't hear the first part. They didn't know that it was Christmas Day. They didn't know why I felt the way I felt. They didn't know that I had decided I was going to run us into a tree. They didn't know that part. And all of a sudden, they're now able to connect some dots. You know, we spend our lives trying to protect our children, trying to protect our parents, trying to protect our families from shame, from guilt, from all of these things. In the meantime, we end up creating situations where we don't allow healing to occur because we're trying to not be vulnerable, not look crazy. Because that looked crazy. My daughter said, Mama, you was crazy. That was crazy. It absolutely was. It absolutely was. You get no argument from me with that. But in my mind at that time, my desire to control things and my inability to control what was happening with this relationship and with his behaviors had me just like in a frenzy. And then trying to create a certain life for my children. You see, I wanted my kids to grow up with 2 parents. That was big for me. That was big for me even after I had my first son, which is one of the reasons I got married. When I did, I wanted him to have a mother and a father. Y'all, my choices were not always the best. I made bad choices. My thinking and my thought processes were skewed. But even all of that came from somewhere. So I didn't tell them the story, though, to make them look at their daddy in a negative light. But I wanted them to understand that, listen, a lot of stuff has happened in the lives of your parents, of our parents' parents, and of their parents' parents, and keep going. But we can never truly heal until we deal with the truth of the things that we've experienced and how they've impacted us. And sometimes we can't even see how stuff has impacted us. We think we're good, but we're not. That stuff leaks out. It seeps out. That crazy comes out. I come from a family, and on my daddy's side, my biological daddy's side, his daddy shot one of his sons because he took his car and he told him not to. Hey, baby. Oh, my baby said, wow, I'm glad you're alive now. Me too, boo. What? What's the matter?
Sitting there a while, it's going to be all at the bottom.
Swirl. Charlotte said, love you, Breeze. I've been there with the father of my kids. Ugly situation. Right. Right. So I come from a family where crazy is real, where violence is real. Right. And I didn't I didn't understand all of the dynamics. But working with my daddy on his book gave me some deeper insight into me. And after last night, I knew that there's some conversations I just need to have with my kids. And I'm pretty open with them. I've always been pretty open with them, but now there's some things that I need to talk to them about because it's affected them. It's affected them. And I remember saying to them, I said, listen, while you're there, I want you to get a better understanding of you. I want you to pay attention. I don't want you to get a better understanding of you. I want you to get a better understanding of your dad. I want you to understand him better so that you might be able to give him empathy. I think for my siblings, they began to understand a little more why daddy was the way he was. And when they read the book, they'll have an even deeper understanding because it was trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. And he really wanted to die. And like me, he tried to kill himself several times and it never worked. I'm grateful that it never worked. He did some stuff like, how are you still living? God's hand. Because there's work to do. You got to understand that the work that you've got to do on you to break free from the hold and the shackles of the past requires you to be honest and open. It requires you to look at you. It requires you to address stuff in you and why you are the way you are. It requires you to get a deeper understanding of you. But you cannot get that deeper understanding of you in the absence of getting a deeper understanding of your parents, in the absence of getting a deeper understanding of their parents. Because look, we're so quick to blame people. We're so quick to blame. Oh, it's their fault. Oh, it's their fault. Oh, it's their fault. When the truth of the matter is that everybody has their own traumas that they're trying to deal with. Great morning, Eveline. My baby said, we can't mess up God's plan for our life. Facts. Facts. Okay? So if you really want to break free from the past, and it's time for you to do it. Oh, the time is now. The time is now. Before we go into 2024, there's some things that you need to deal with, some things that you need to address, some things that you need to work through, some things that you need to process, some conversations that you need to have. Oh, the time is now. We don't want to do that because we don't want anybody to be hurt. We don't want to have to feel anything. We don't want to have to be vulnerable. But you can't be free in a lie. You can't be free in lies. You can't be free and not be vulnerable. But what you got to understand is your vulnerability is the key to your freedom. Because once you allow yourself to be vulnerable without constant fear and concern for other people's perceptions of your vulnerability, without being overtaken with the desire not to be vulnerable because you don't want to be hurt, then your vulnerability becomes not a liability, but a weapon. The greatest weapon that you have against the enemy is your own ability to be vulnerable and tell the truth. We're concerned about what people are going to think, how people are going to feel. We don't want to hurt nobody. We don't want to hurt, but you're already hurting. See, it doesn't even make sense. It's not logical. You don't want to hurt, but you're already hurting. How does that make sense? It doesn't. But our families are full of secrets and lies. Things that have been hidden to try to protect people. Things that people didn't want to face and didn't want to deal with. That leads up to bitterness, anger, resentment, hatred. From lies. From not dealing with you. From other people not dealing with them. And you can't control them and you can't make them deal with them. But what you can do is you can deal with you. I shared the story and my son was talking and he said something. And his sister said, wait, hold on now, hold on. No, this is about self-reflection. You look at you. This is about self. Don't be telling me what I know. You look at you. And she's absolutely right. Because although you can see things in other people, it's not your job to fix them. It's their job to deal with them. And if every one of us engages in self-reflection and self-examination and deals with self, then we can create an atmosphere where other people are more likely to deal with them. You see, what I had to come to understand was the problem was not my ex. It wasn't him. The problem was me. It was about me. It was about what I needed to learn. It's about what I needed to address in me. My need to control, to create a certain image, to look a certain way, to have a certain family. Oh, that's what was destroying me. I didn't have this family that I felt like I should have. It didn't look the way I felt like it should look. I'm too educated for this. I'm too educated for this. I got a whole PhD in communications. So why am I unable to create effective communication with the person that I love that I'm spending my life with? Now I'm feeling inadequate and like a failure. Because if I really was a great communicator, then I would be able to get him to understand. When it had nothing to do with my communication and everything to do with where he was. Do yourself a favor and give yourself a gift this year. Give yourself the gift of freedom. Give yourself the gift of breaking free from your past. Give yourself the gift of growth. Give yourself the gift of the opportunity to get clearer vision of God's plan for your life. Don't go into 2024 with the same blinders on that you had on in 23, 22, 21, 2020, when it was supposed to be about clear vision, like 2019, 2018, and you can keep going all the way back. The truth is that we create a world that may not really align with what's really going on and may not align with what God has for our life. And then we're confused and confounded about why it's not happening for us. You think you're clear, but you're looking through a lens that's not your prescription. So your vision is still distorted and it's still skewed. But only you can make that choice. Only you can make that decision. Some of this bondage we're in, we don't have to be in. Let me take that back. The bondage that we're in, period, we don't have to be in. There's a way out. But the way out requires you to do some stuff that you may be uncomfortable with doing, but it's necessary. See, that's why I'm doing the vision retreat. That's why I do the classes I do. That's why, because I know for a fact, because I know what I've gone through. I know what has happened for me. I want to see us free. And we're not free till everyone's free. As long as there's still someone in bondage, there's bondage. I want to see us free. And so one of the things that this vision retreat is going to do is to help you get some clarity on some things, to help you see some things in you, in your life, how it's affected you, and how to break free, how to get clear on the vision that God has for your life and be in a position to act on it and to move forward. This 4-day retreat is going to deal with all the dimensions of your life, and you're going to have to do some deep work. So it's not for people that don't want to do work. If you don't want to do the work, don't take it, because I want you to keep your money, because you're going to be frustrated and mad with me. Because I'm going to ask you, well, why do you think? Well, why? I'm going to ask you why. I'm going to ask you why. And if you don't want to answer the whys and you don't want to face the whys, don't take it, because you're going to be mad. You're going to be mad. If you don't want to be free, you just want to look like you're free, don't take it. Because you're going to be mad. Because freedom is going to pull at you. Deliverance is going to pull at you. Because that's my job. That's my assignment. To set the captives free. Call me Harriet. Call me Moses. Oh, y'all will be mad at me. Because freedom isn't easy and it's not free. It's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you this image that you've created. It's going to cost you the walls that you've built up. It's going to cost you. But the prize on the other side is so great that it's worth it. So what if people say that I'm crazy? So what if people say that I'm violent? So what? I have to be responsible for me, for assuming responsibility for my role in my journey. You see, that night, when my husband wasn't going to do what I wanted him to do, and I decided I was going to make him pay, and I was going to break something that I knew he had worked hard on and that was dear to him. And then maybe, just maybe, he would understand how serious I was. That next morning, when we went for a drive to have a conversation, and the conversation wasn't going the way I wanted it to go, and he wasn't getting how serious this was to me. And I decided that I was just going to kill both of us. And then I came to my senses because it was going to hurt. Now I'm good on the hurt. And what if I live and be paraplegic? No, I'm good. Let me just get my mind back together. That day when they left and I decided, well, I'm just going to leave the situation. So I took 2 bottles of pills, shampooed my hair and put my makeup on, laid down and crossed my arms to die. Because I didn't see a way out and I couldn't control what was going on. And when I woke up, hair still cute, makeup cute, arms still crossed, but breathing. All of those things dealt with me. Listen to me. That dealt with me. And you can say, well, I can see why you felt like that. And I can see why, and I can see why, and I understand. Yeah, it still does not mean that I had to make the choices that I made. Those were my choices. Marrying him was my choice. Well, really, God said, no, you finna marry him. And I was like, are you kidding? Because there was a point when I was going to leave and God said, no. No, this baby on the way. No, you going to marry him. Y'all listen. What I'm going to tell you that I know for sure and for certain is this. Everything that you've gone through in your life has purpose. Everything. So you may say, well, Dr. V, what was the purpose in all of that? Oh, there were gifts in all of it. Every single bit of it. And when you begin to see the gifts and the traumas of your life, you begin to look at them differently. See, it took all of that for me to even begin to deal with the fact that really I was very concerned about appearance and about how things looked. And I wanted to have this perfect family, this perfect marriage, but there's no such thing. It is what you work to make it be. My baby said I was only getting 15% absorption. That's the gift. I took pills that only allowed me to absorb 15% of each tablet. Each capsule, I got about 20-some%. That's a gift. Because if I'd gotten all of the absorption, I would have died. If I'd gotten the absorption that these sprays give, I'd have been dead. But even with the percentage of absorption that I got, they couldn't believe I was alive. They couldn't believe it. They could not believe I was alive with what I took. They couldn't believe it. They were like, well, you should be. It's a gift that I get to be a walking miracle. It's a gift that I get to share with people my journey and what I've gone through. Even though I didn't think of it like that at the time, it's a gift that I lived. Yes, baby. God's plan. It's a gift that I lived. Had I died then, there would be no Adam. There would have not been a Malachi, and there would be no Micaiah. They wouldn't have been born. Stop whining about the things that have gone wrong and find the gift in them. Because sometimes the gift is not for you, it's for other people. Yeah, baby, there would have been no us. And had I not gone through all I went through in every marriage, in every relationship, I wouldn't be who I am now. You got to keep living and growing and becoming. And that's the key. I had to divorce myself from people's opinions of me, my life, and my choices. what people think about me, what people think about how I share openly and honestly and authentically. I had to divorce myself for how people think I should handle things and what I should do in situations. But that need to control things, that thing right there is powerful. And it will cause you to destroy relationships. And it will cause you to go crazy because one thing you can't control is other people. Turn the mirror around and look at you. Stop being so consumed with what other people need to do in their life and focus on what you need to do in your life. Deal with you. Deal with your stuff. You know why we don't? It's easier to talk about what other people should do rather than deal with our own life. It's easier to see the flaws in other people than it is to see the flaws in us. It's easier. But do you not know that other people are brought into your life and come into your life to be mirrors of you? If you keep getting a certain type of people in your life, there's something God is trying to show you about you, not about them, about you. Vision Retreat 2024 is about you. It's about you. It's about you getting another level of clarity on you. It's about you learning how to unlock the things that are preventing you from being the greatest person that God has created you to be. Tapping into your highest spiritual power. God created us powerful. And yet we allow things and situations and the past and the present and a fear of the future to hold us hostage. Angel number 155. This retreat is for you. You want to give a gift this year to other people? Give them the gift of the best version of you. Let that be the gift. Invest in you. Make a commitment to become a better version of you. You can give people things, but the truth of the matter is things break. Things fade away. Things wear out. What doesn't wear out is our impact on the lives of other people. If we can capture that and make that impact the impact that the Creator has created us to have, it will create a ripple effect throughout generations. What my daddy is doing in his book is getting free. And in his freedom, he's going to free generations. Generations that have been held hostage to unhealthy patterns, mindsets, and behaviors. It's generational, y'all. Do it for your legacy. You want to create a legacy of healing and wholeness. I haven't gotten everything right as a mother. I know I haven't. Haven't gotten everything right as a wife. Haven't gotten everything right as a sister, as an aunt, as a daughter. I haven't gotten everything right in any role that I occupied in life. But it's my prayer that as I'm on this journey to become the best version of me, that the people around me, if they don't get anything else from me, if I get everything else wrong, they'll see that I never stop growing and trying to become the best version of me. If they get that and it inspires them to grow and to become, I need you to know the problem is not your mistakes. It's not that you haven't been what people needed you to be. That's not the problem. The problem becomes when you decide that you can't become anything else, when you don't allow yourself to become anything else, when you don't allow yourself to evolve, to grow, to change, to become better. Instead, you become bitter. Bitter or better, you get to choose. The choice is yours. No one else can choose that. And you can say, well, you don't understand because they keep doing da 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 da. Listen, you ain't got to let da 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 keep affecting you the same way. You don't. You can change how you deal with people, or you cannot deal with people. Like, there are options. But you can't keep putting walls up. Can't do that. I want to see you free in 2024. That's what I want to see. See, I already see you in 2024 and you look better than you do right now. The question is, will you do your part? Will you do your part? So I've done my part. God told me to do it. I'm doing it. Whether it's one person in it or 50 people in it, I'm doing it. And I'm going to do it the exact same, with the exact same energy, the exact same enthusiasm for one person to be free as it would be for a multitude to be free. Because freeing one person also has a ripple effect and it frees other people. So it's not about the numbers of people. It's about the impact. But I'm letting you know, I want you in the number. I want you to be one of those people. I want that for you. This is not about the money. Because honestly, at this point, I'm giving it away for what you're going to get. I really want you to think about it for a minute. I want you to think, and I want you to answer me. I want you to put an answer in the comments. I want you to put an answer. How much is your freedom worth to you? If you put $1 a price on it, if you put $1 amount on your freedom, what is that number for you? What is that number? And I want you to put it in the comments. What is that number for you? That number that says, okay, this is worth what my freedom is worth for me. Angel number 155. This is what my freedom is worth for me. Put a number in the comments. Put a number in the comments. I want to know what your number is. What is the price tag that you put on your freedom? What is that number? While y'all are doing that, I'm going to look at angel number 155. What's the number? What is your number? What is the number your freedom is worth? Lakita said prices. I get it. But put a number on it. If you had to put a number on it, what would that number be? What would that number be? Angel number 155 often appears when you are on the cusp of a major breakthrough in your personal growth journey. Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? Angel number 155 often appears when you are on the cusp of a major breakthrough in your personal growth journey. It serves as a reminder to prioritize your personal development, step out of your comfort zone, and embrace new opportunities for learning and self-improvement. Y'all, listen, I can't make this stuff up. Everything in the entire universe is telling you it is time. You're almost there. You're almost there. What is the number? Y'all ain't got no numbers. What's going on? What is your freedom worth to you? Economically, financially, what is that number? Put a number. Why y'all ain't putting no numbers? You got to get to the point in your life where you're able to quantify things. Someone said no number, but that the curses be broken from generations to generations. Okay. Y'all know no number and priceless is a cop out. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know that, right? What is that worth to you? What would you be willing to pay to get that? What is that worth to you? And y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. This isn't a sales trick. I don't want y'all to think this is a sales trick. It's not. Like, I'm seriously asking you this. Because until you understand what that is worth to you financially, because we got a number for everything. I promise y'all, we do. We may not want to admit we have a number, but we do. We have a number where the price is too great for us. Oh no, that's too great for me. I'm not willing to pay that price. We have a price that's too great for us to continue forward. We do. But what is that number for you? Put a number. A number. Angel number 1. I'm going to take a picture so y'all can see it. I'm going to take a picture. Because people be thinking that I be making stuff up. I don't. I can't make it up. I can't conjure it. I can't do any of those things. When I tell you that God is doing what he's doing what he's doing. How much is freedom worth to you? What would you pay for it? If you knew, I'm going to pay this amount of money and I'm going to get free. I'm going to have freedom. What is that number? $1 million? 500,000? 100,000? 50,000? 25,000? 5,000? 2,000? 1,000? $500. What is it? What is that for you? Listen, when I think about that for me, because I know that my freedom is the key to the freedom of so many more, right? Someone said 100 million. What's $100 million? I feel you on that. I feel you on that, Summerlin. I feel you on that. See, for me, I think that freedom, although it's priceless, I would be willing. April said 1 billion. I would be willing to pay billions of dollars for that freedom. They're not having billions of dollars. I'm like, well, then how am I going to get free? Like, if I don't have billions of dollars, how am I going to get free? I need to make it. I need to make billions of dollars so that I can get to the freedom that I desire. And not just for me, but for the generations, for my children, for my children's children, and my children's children's children. I need to get there so that I can afford that freedom. Well, the beautiful thing is this. It doesn't have to cost you all that. It doesn't. It doesn't have to cost you billions of dollars. It doesn't have to cost you 100 million. Lakita said, but if you don't have that number, that means you stay in bondage. So this is the thing. This is what I love about God. The word of God says that my God shall supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. Jesus died for us, died on the cross, shed his blood. It cost him his life. Our freedom has cost him his life. The beautiful thing is he's paid that price for us to be free. The question is, will we do our part to walk out that freedom? Will we do our part? Jesus shed blood for it. But will we do our part to get free and stay free? Because freedom is already ours. We simply haven't appropriated it. See, we already have it. We just haven't taken it. We haven't tapped into it because we don't know how. We don't know how. We say the words, we go to church, we pray, we do the things that we think is going to get us to our freedom, and we're still in bondage. I can't tell you that when you go to the retreat, that you will automatically get that freedom in its totality. I can't tell you that. I can't make you that kind of a guarantee. I can't tell you that just because you sign up for the retreat, that you're automatically going to get that freedom. I would be lying to you. I can't even tell you if you sign up for the retreat and you attend every single day and do every single exercise, that you're automatically going to have a certain result. But what I can tell you is this. If you go to this retreat, and it's virtual, you can do it from the comfort of your home. If you do these exercises, if you approach it honestly and authentically, if you put your all in and you do the work, you will see change. How much change you see is going to be dependent on you. I can't guarantee that. But what I can guarantee is that if you do the work and you put yourself in it, you'll see change. You'll see change. The degree of the change is going to be dependent on you. It's on you. Because see, the key is you can't just buy it. You can't just buy it. It's already been given, but there's a part we're not playing. There's stuff we're not doing. April said, this retreat is going to change lives. I'm so thrilled to be a part. Amen. I'm grateful that God allowed me to live, to go through every experience that I've gone through in my entire life, right? Whether that was molestation, rape, bad relationships, not feeling loved, not feeling enough, feeling abandoned by my parents, having my whole world flipped upside down by finding out that the man who raised me was not my biological father, the rejection of family, the misunderstanding of who I am and what I'm about and what I want, the devaluing, the divorces, the verbal and spiritual and psychological abuse, physical illness. I don't regret any of it. I'm grateful for it because it means that there's very little that you could have experienced that I haven't gone through, I haven't almost gone through, or I don't know someone who's gone through. My baby said, pain is just pain until you open the can to apply it. You know, you be coming up with some good stuff, baby. I'm trying to tell you, we got to do a book of your sayings because that wisdom that you be dropping is fire. Okay. I need you to know that, sir. And that's sexy to me. Listen, go register. Right now, you've missed the 40% off, but there's still 30% off. And if you have ever in your life taken one of my classes and paid to take it, whether it was $25 or hundreds of dollars, you get a special discount. You get 50% off. If you just want to do the vision board, because we're going to do a vision board on the last day. If you just want to do that part, you can. It's $99 minus 30%. So it's about $70. If you've done one of my classes, it's like $45, $50 for you. If you want to do the retreat, it's $399 individually minus 30%, right? If you want to do it with another person as a couple, as a pair, you get it for $599 minus 30%. if you want to do it as a family. And a family doesn't have to be blood. It can be, you don't have to have the same last name. You don't have to come from the same mother and father. You don't have to share a parent. You don't have to any of that. Listen, family is whoever you call family. For up to 5 people, you can do it for $7.99. That's the group price. For up to 5 people, you can do it for $7.99, minus the 30%. Now, if you've taken my classes, it's minus 50%. So y'all can split the cost and do it that way, but do it. Don't cheat yourself out of this opportunity. It's going to be December the 27th through the 30th. The 27th, 28th, and 29th is going to run from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 p.m. If you can't stay the whole time or you can't be there that day, you're going to have the recording. You'll be able to go through the exercises just like everybody else. And then on that last day, it's a full day thing, right? So we're going to do some things in the morning after Sabbath service. And then we're going to do some things in the afternoon. And then that night is going to be the culmination and the wrap up. So that on the 30th, prepare to give your whole day to you. Not to me, but prepare to give your whole day to you because you're worth it. Okay? So that you'll be prepared and set to walk into 2024 with clarity of vision, and you'll be able to create the action plan needed to get there. I pray that today has blessed you. I pray that you have gotten something out of it that allows you to continue your journey and go on your journey with confidence and assurance. Assurance being that we know this, that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Assurance of this, that God knows the plans that he has for you. And they're plans for good and not evil, to give you a hope and a future, and to take you to an expected end. And we know this, that the Lord answered and said, write the vision, write my answer on tablets so that the readers that read it might run and convey the right message. Though it tarry, wait for it shall come to pass. God has made us promises, and all we have to do is our part in order to see the promises manifest in our lives. Listen, if you've been blessed today and you just want to sow a seed, you can do that by going to Cash App $DRV Johnson 777. Cash App $DRV Johnson 777. My prayer is that today be the best day of your life so far. That it be a day that opens your eyes, your mind, and your spirit to what the Lord is doing for you, because it's for you. Listen, remember, everything that happens to you happens for you and not to you. Everything that happens for you and not to you. So let's embrace the day and anything that it brings with those assurances, knowing that if God be for us, he is more than the whole world against us. And with God, nothing is impossible. Let's walk out this day of impossibilities where God shows up and turns the script, flips the script, and makes the impossible with man possible with him. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day, because it's time to break free from the past. You guys be blessed. Mwah.